Plates crash on the marble floor. A silver spoon rolls near a pair of expensive heels. Sophie stands in the middle of her huge, shiny kitchen. Her face is red with anger. Sophie shouts, "Grace, how long does it take to make simple food? Are you cooking for a village?" Grace, the cook, stands near the stove. Her hands are shaking. Steam covers her glasses. She is in a faded sari/dress, her hair tied back, face tired but gentle. Grace softly says, "Madam, I woke up at 4 a.m. I am almost done. Just 5 more minutes and 5 more minutes?" Sophie cuts her off. "We have 20 guests tonight. Rich people, important people, and you are moving like a turtle." In the corner, Sophie's daughter Mia watches. Mia's eyes fill with tears. She whispers, "Nom, Grace has been working all day. Maybe just..." "Stay out of this, Mia." Sophie snaps. "She is my cook. I pay her. If she can't keep up, she can leave." Grace looks at the floor. Her heart is breaking. She came to this house to feed them with love. But today, she is being treated like trash. Sophie points to the door. "In fact, you know what?" Sophie says, her voice cold. "You're fired. Right now. Pack your things and get out. You're too slow for this house." The whole kitchen goes silent. Only the sound of boiling soup fills the air. Grace wipes her eyes with the corner of her dupatta. She bows her head. "All right, madam," she whispers. "Thank you for the time I worked here." She turns and walks out of the shining kitchen. Mia covers her mouth, shocked. And then, as Grace reaches the gate, a phone starts ringing. One call, one simple call. That will change everything. The day had started like any other. The sun rose over the big mansion. Cars in the driveway. Guards at the gate. Tall glass windows shining in the light. Inside, in the small back kitchen, Grace was already working. She chopped onions with skill. She stirred 3 pots at once. She checked the oven, then the fridge, then the cutting board. Her hands moved fast, but her body was old. Her back hurt. Her feet were swollen. She spoke softly to herself. "Come on, Grace, just keep going. You need this job. You have to pay Mia's school fees, your grandson's medicine." Yes, Grace was poor, but she was proud. She never begged. She only worked harder. At 8 a.m., Mia walked into the kitchen, still in her pajamas. It smells so good," Mia smiled. "What are you making, Grace?" Grace smiled warmly. "Your favorite, Beta, baked chicken with herbs. And for your father, low-oil grilled fish. For guests, I'll make 3 starters, 2 main dishes, and dessert." Mia sat on a stool. "You're doing all that alone?" Grace laughed softly. "Alone? No. God is with me. And these hands have cooked for 30 years. Mia watched her move. There was love in every action. She cut tomatoes like they were precious jewels. But then, heels clicked on the tiles. Sophie walked in. Gold bracelet, diamond earrings, perfect makeup, phone in one hand, long coffee mug in the other. She didn't even look at Grace first. She looked at the clock. "It's 10 a.m., Sophie said. "Why is the main course not ready? The dessert not in fridge? The table not set?" Grace quickly wiped her hands. "Madam, I have..." Sophie raised her hand. "Don't give excuses. I am tired of excuses. Whenever I ask, you say 5 more minutes." Mia tried again. "Mom." Grace woke up before everyone. "Mia," Sophie snapped. "You become soft. In this world, slow people get left behind. I have no time for slow workers." She turned back to Grace. "This party tonight is very important. Daniel's investor, Mr. Carter, is coming. If anything goes wrong, my husband will be embarrassed, and it will be your fault." Grace swallowed hard. "Madam, I promise, everything will be perfect," she said, voice a little shaky. "I just need a little more time. I am doing everything alone." Sophie laughed bitterly. "You people always say the same thing. We are poor, we work hard, we try our best. But look around you, Grace. This is not some street stall. This is a millionaire's house." Her words cut deep. Grace's eyes filled with tears, but she held them back. She whispered, "Yes, madam. I know. I am sorry." But inside her mind, her thoughts were heavy. Why does she talk like this? Does my poverty make me less human? I cook with all my heart, yet it is never enough. The clock ticked. Orders kept coming. Make something vegan. Make something gluten-free. Make something with no sugar. Make something fancy for social media. By noon, Grace's hands were numb. Her eyes hurt from the heat and smoke. Her scarf was wet with sweat. Finally, one small mistake happened. A tray of small pies came out of the oven slightly late. Only 5 minutes. Sophie checked the time. The anger inside her exploded. She shouted, "That's it. I've had enough of you." In front of another housemaid, the driver, and Mia, she pointed at Grace and said the words that broke her. "You're fired. Right now. You are too slow. Too old. I need someone who can work like a machine." Everyone froze. The driver looked down, scared. The maid pretended not to see. Mia whispered, "Mom, please don't do this." Grace stood very still. Her heart pounded in her chest. Her voice shook. "Madam, at least let me finish today. For the guests. Then I will leave quietly." "No," Sophie said coldly. "I don't want your slow hands anywhere near tonight's dinner. Just go." That was it. Grace looked one last time at the kitchen, where she had spent so many long days. She looked at Mia, who now had tears running down her face. Grace gave a small, sad smile. "Take care of yourself, Beta," she said softly. And then she walked out, her bag on her shoulder, her step slow but steady. Mia felt something break inside her. As the heavy gate closed behind Grace, a ringtone cut the silence. Everyone looked at the small, cracked phone in Grace's hand. Her eyes widened. She answered with a trembling hand. "Hello?" she whispered. A deep, polite voice spoke on the other side. "Hello. Is this Grace Thomas, the cook?" The man asked. Grace frowned, confused. "Yes, this is Grace." "Good," the man said. "My name is Mr. Carter." Mia's eyes went wide. "Mr. Carter? The investor? The big man everyone is talking about?" Grace held her breath. The man continued. "I tasted your food at a charity event last month. I have been trying to reach you. I think you are exactly the person I need." And just like that, one call, one sentence, the game started to change. What happens when the powerful realize the value of the person they threw away? What would you do if you were in Grace's place? The answer was coming. Grace almost dropped the phone. She gripped the gate with her free hand. Her legs felt weak. "And Mr. Carter?" she stuttered. I don't understand." Inside the house, Sophie was shouting at the staff. "I want a new cook here by evening. Call the agency. I don't care what it costs." Mia, however, had run to the balcony. From there, she could hear bits of Grace's call. On the phone, Mr. Carter spoke calmly. "Yes, I am Daniel's business partner. A month ago at the charity event, I tasted some food there. It was the best I've had in years. Spices perfect, balance perfect. The organizer told me your name." Grace remembered. She had cooked for that event for free. Just to help, just to feed poor children. "You cooked a simple lentil soup," Mr. Carter continued. "But somehow it felt like home. I have been looking for you since then." Grace's eyes filled with tears. "Nobody ever talks like this about my food," she whispered. "They only say I am slow." Mr. Carter chuckled. "Slow," he said. "Listen, real food takes time. Only rich, empty people want things in 2 minutes. I am opening a new chain of home-style restaurants. I want someone like you as the head chef. You will not be a servant. You will be my partner." Grace could not speak for a moment. Her throat closed. "Head chef," she repeated. "Yes," he replied. "You will design the menu. We will put your name on the board. Grace's Kitchen, in partnership with Carter Group. You will have a salary, plus a share. But first, I want to discuss it over dinner at Daniel's house tonight. I asked him to keep his cook free to talk." "That cook is you, right?" Grace's heart stopped. She looked back at the big house, at the gate, at the windows where Sophie lived like a queen. She swallowed. "Mr. Carter, I need to tell you something," she said slowly. "I just got fired. Right now. Madam said I am too slow." There was a long pause on the line. Then Mr. Carter's voice changed. It was still calm, but now there was an edge. "Fired," he said, "because you are too slow?" Grace looked down. "Yes, sir," she whispered. "I tried my best, but it was not enough for them." From the balcony, Mia gasped. She could not believe what she was hearing. Mr. Carter sighed. "I see," he said softly. "Thank you for being honest, Grace. Can you come to the Grand Plaza Hotel at 7 p.m. today instead? We will talk there. I will send a car to pick you up." Grace wiped her tears. "Yes, sir. Thank you. I don't know how to thank you." "You don't need to thank me," he replied. "People like you are the real treasure. Others are just blind." The call ended. Grace stood still. The world around her felt different. For the first time in years, she felt seen. She whispered, "Thank you, God." At that same moment, inside the mansion, Daniel's phone rang. He answered quickly. "Hello, Mr. Carter." Daniel said with a big smile, "We are all ready for tonight. My cook is preparing your favorite dishes." On the other end, Mr. Carter's voice was cold. "Is she?" he asked. "That's strange, because I just spoke to your cook, Grace, outside your gate, with her bag. She told me you fired her for being too slow." Daniel froze. His eyes slowly moved to Sophie, who was sitting on the sofa, complaining to her friend on video call. "Yes, I just fired her," Sophie was saying loudly. "She was too slow. I can't stand lazy people." Daniel's heart dropped. He whispered into the phone, "Mr. Carter, I think there has been a misunderstanding." "There is no misunderstanding," Mr. Carter cut him. "I have been watching how you treat your staff. I even installed a small hidden camera once during our last visit to see how things really are in this house." Daniel's face turned white. "Hidden camera?" Mr. Carter continued. "I saw the way your wife talks to them, especially to Grace. I was hoping today would be different, but you fired the very person I wanted to meet." He took a breath. "You know what, Daniel? I don't do business with people who don't respect those who serve them. If you can't respect a cook, how will you respect a partner? The dinner is canceled. The deal is canceled. I will meet Grace at the Grand Plaza instead." The line went dead. Daniel's phone slipped from his hand. Sophie looked up, annoyed. "What happened now?" she asked. "Why are you standing there like a statue?" Daniel turned to her, his eyes full of anger and shock. "You fired Grace?" he asked slowly. "In front of everyone?" Sophie shrugged. "Yes. So what? I'll get a better cook. Faster. Younger. What's the big deal?" Daniel's voice rose. "The big deal is that Mr. Carter wanted to make her the face of his new restaurant chain," he shouted. "He wanted to sign our biggest project ever, because of her. And now, he canceled everything, because of how you treated her." Sophie's smile disappeared. "Canceled?" she whispered. No, that's not possible." Mia came running in, tears on her face. "Mom, I heard everything," she cried. "You humiliated her. For no reason. She was tired, not lazy. And now she has something better. She doesn't need us anymore." Sophie's hand started shaking. She sat down slowly. Her mind raced. Is this really happening? Did I just ruin my husband's biggest deal because of my ego? Because I couldn't give 5 more minutes to a woman who gave us years of her life? For the first time, Sophie felt fear. Real fear. She whispered, "Where is she now?" "At the gate," Mia said. "For now. But soon, she will be far away, living a better life than us." Sophie stood up suddenly. "I have to stop her," she said. "I have to talk to her." Daniel stared at her. "Why?" he asked bitterly. "To shout at her again? To blame her for your mistake?" "No," Sophie said, her voice shaking. "To say, I'm sorry." She grabbed her car keys and ran out of the house, her heart pounding. The rich lady who once walked like a queen now ran like someone who was afraid to lose everything. The sun was going down. The sky was orange. In the small, dusty street outside the mansion, a car from the Grand Plaza Hotel waited. A uniformed driver stood beside it, holding the door open. Grace stood near the car with her one old suitcase. She looked nervous but hopeful. The driver smiled. "Madam Grace," he asked kindly, "sir has sent me to bring you to the hotel." Madam. No one had ever called her that. She nodded slowly. "Yes, I am Grace," she said. "Thank you." Just as she was about to step inside the car, another car screeched to a stop. Sophie jumped out. Her hair was messy. Her eyes were red. "Grace!" she shouted. "Grace, wait." Grace turned, startled. "And madam?" she asked softly. Sophie walked closer, breathing hard. People from the street started watching. The driver, too. For the first time, Sophie was not the one with power in someone else's eyes. Sophie swallowed her pride. "Grace, listen," she started. I made a mistake. I was stressed. I was angry. I shouldn't have fired you. Please come back. We can forget what happened." Grace looked at her quietly. Her heart was kind, but she still remembered every cruel word. She spoke slowly. "Madam, do you want me back because you're sorry, or because you lost Mr. Carter's deal?" Sophie froze. Behind them, Mia had also run out and stopped a few steps away. She listened in silence. Sophie's lips trembled. "Both," she whispered. "I am sorry. Truly. And yes, losing the deal scared me. But what hurts me more is I saw the fear in your eyes when I shouted. I saw my daughter cry because of me. I don't want to be that person anymore." Grace's eyes softened. She had always wanted to hear words like this. Still, she asked, "Madam, when you fired me, did you think about my rent, my family, my grandson's medicine, my own old mother?" Sophie's eyes filled with tears. "No," she admitted. "I didn't. I only thought about myself. I thought having money gives me the right to talk however I want. But today, I saw what it feels like when someone more powerful than me takes everything away in one call." She took a deep breath. "Please, Grace," she said, voice breaking. "Give me one more chance. I will raise your salary. I will give you better hours. I will respect you. Just don't go." Everything became quiet. Even the noise of the street faded. Grace looked at the hotel car, then at the mansion she had served for years, then at Mia, whose face was full of hope. Mia stepped forward. "Grace," she said softly, "I'm sorry too. I didn't stop her hard enough. You were like family to me. But I also want you to be happy. If this hotel job gives you a better life, you should take it." A tear rolled down Grace's cheek. So much wisdom in such a young girl, she thought. She smiled gently at Mia. "You have a good heart, Beta," she whispered. Then she turned to Sophie. "Madam," Grace said, "I forgive you. Truly, I don't want hate in my heart. But I cannot come back as your servant." Sophie's shoulders fell. "It's not about money anymore," Grace continued, her voice calm but firm. "It's about dignity. You can hire another cook. Faster, younger, but you cannot buy respect with money." The driver from the hotel watched, respect shining in his eyes for Grace. Sophie nodded slowly, tears falling freely now. "You're right," she said. "You're right about everything. I don't deserve you as my cook." Grace took a breath. "But," she added, "one day, if your heart truly changes, you can come to my restaurant, sit at my table. I will cook for you as a guest, not as someone you command." Sophie looked up, shocked. "Your restaurant?" she asked. Grace smiled through tears. "Yes, Mr. Carter wants to make Grace's kitchen," she said. "He told me I will be a partner, not a worker. My recipes, my name, my rules." Those words were like a mirror that showed Sophie who she really was, and who Grace was always meant to be. Mia ran to Grace and hugged her tightly. "I will come to your restaurant every week," Mia said, crying. "I'll bring my friends, and I will tell everyone this is the woman my mother never deserved." Grace laughed softly and kissed her head. "Don't be too hard on your mother," she whispered in Mia's ear. People can change. Pray she does. Mia nodded. Grace stepped back and looked at Sophie one last time. Goodbye, madam, she said kindly. Take care of your family. And your heart. She then turned, walked to the hotel car, and sat inside. The door closed. The rich woman who once shouted at her cook in a shiny kitchen now stood alone in the dusty street, watching the car drive away, her face wet with tears, her hands empty. That was karma. The same slow cook she insulted became the key to a huge business deal, became the owner of her own name, became someone the world respected. And Sophie? She went back to the mansion, quieter, more thoughtful. She said sorry to the other staff. She listened when they spoke. She started doing small things for herself, like setting her own plate, making her own tea, so she would remember how hard work feels. Change is not easy, but pain is a strong teacher. Sometimes the people we look down on are the ones holding up our whole life. Respect those who serve you, because one day, one call, one moment of truth can flip the story, and you might be the one standing outside, begging for a second chance. Have you ever seen someone treat workers badly in real life? If you were there, what would you do? Thinking,